Another sunrise, another day in paradise, I muttered to myself as the harsh orange sun peeked over the horizon, casting long shadows across the dusty landscape. Paradise, they called it. A cruel joke, if you asked me. My name's Kai, and I'm what you'd call a survivor. I've spent most of my life navigating the treacherous dunes of this godforsaken planet, scraping by on whatever meager resources we can scrounge up. Water is a luxury, food a constant struggle. The air is thick with dust, making every breath a chore. We've adapted, of course, over generations, but it's a hard life. Today, like most days, starts with the hunt. Not for animals, mind you, those are practically extinct. No, we hunt for something far more precious, water. We follow ancient maps, passed down from our ancestors, hoping they'll lead us to hidden reservoirs beneath the sand. It's a gamble, every time, but one we have to take. I strap on my worn-out gear, a patchwork of salvaged materials, and check my supplies. A few protein bars, a couple of energy cells for my tools, and a battered canteen, mostly empty. I join the rest of my crew, a motley bunch of hardened survivors, each with their own story of loss and resilience. We set out under the scorching sun, our feet sinking into the sand with every step. The wind howls, whipping up sandstorms that sting our exposed skin. We trudge on, driven by the knowledge that our very survival depends on this. After hours of grueling trekking, we reach our destination, marked by a series of weathered rock formations. The maps indicate a possible water source beneath. We set to work, using our tools to dig through the sand, hoping our efforts won't be in vain. Hours turn into what feels like an eternity as we dig deeper and deeper. The sun beats down relentlessly, the sand clinging to our sweat-soaked bodies. But we don't give up. We can't. Finally, a cry goes up from one of the crew members. Water. I've found water. A surge of hope courses through me as we gather around the small, muddy pool that's been unearthed. It's not much, but it's enough to sustain us for a while longer. We carefully collect the precious liquid, filling our canteens and any other containers we have. With our thirst quenched and our spirits lifted, we make the arduous journey back to our settlement, a collection of makeshift shelters huddled together against the elements. It's not much, but it's home. We share our meager spoils with the rest of the community, a moment of camaraderie and shared triumph in the face of adversity. The children, their faces gaunt but their eyes bright with hope, eagerly drink their share. It's a reminder of why we do what we do, of the future we're fighting for. As night falls, we gather around a small fire, the flickering flames casting long shadows that dance across the sand. We share stories, sing songs, and for a brief moment, forget the harsh realities of our existence. But the reprieve is short-lived. Tomorrow, the cycle begins anew. Another sunrise, another day in paradise. We'll continue our struggle, driven by the will to survive, the hope for a better future. As I lay down to rest, the stars twinkling above, I can't help but wonder if there's anyone out there, watching us. If they could see the lengths we have to go to just to survive, would they be shocked? Would they pity us? Or would they admire our resilience, our unwavering spirit in the face of such adversity? I don't know the answer, but I do know this: we won't give up. We'll keep fighting, keep surviving, until our last breath. The harsh sun had barely begun its ascent when a strange shadow fell upon our settlement. It wasn't the elongated silhouette of a sand dune or the fleeting shade of a scavenging bird. This shadow was vast, metallic, and utterly foreign. We emerged from our shelters, squinting against the harsh light, our initial fear giving way to curiosity. Hovering above us was a colossal vessel, unlike anything we had ever seen. It was sleek and streamlined, shimmering with an iridescent sheen that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "What in the hells is that?" someone whispered, their voice barely audible above the low hum emanating from the ship. Before anyone could answer, a beam of light descended from the vessel, illuminating a small clearing in the center of our settlement. A ramp slowly extended, revealing a group of figures emerging from the ship's belly. They were humanoid in shape, but their skin was a shimmering blue, their eyes large and luminous, their heads adorned with intricate crests that pulsed with an otherworldly light. They moved with a grace and fluidity that was almost unnerving. As they approached, we instinctively tightened our grip on our makeshift weapons, a mix of salvaged tools and repurposed debris. We may be survivors, but we were not fools. The leader of the group, a tall, imposing figure with a crest that glowed with an intense blue light, raised a hand in a gesture of peace. "Greetings, inhabitants of this planet," he said, his voice resonating with a strange musical quality. "We come in peace. We are the Xylarians, from a distant star system." We exchanged nervous glances. Aliens? From another star system? Was this a dream? A hallucination? We have been observing your planet for some time, the Xylarian continued, his gaze sweeping across our meager settlement. We are fascinated by your species, your resilience, your ability to survive in such a harsh environment. He paused, his eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and pity. We have seen the lengths you go to just to survive. The constant struggle for water, the relentless search for sustenance. We are shocked, to say the least. A wave of shame washed over me. Were we really that pathetic? A spectacle for alien tourists? We have come to offer our assistance, the Xylarian said, his tone sincere. We have the technology to help you transform this planet, to make it habitable, to provide you with the resources you need to thrive. A murmur of excitement rippled through the crowd. Could this be real? A chance to escape our endless struggle? But I remained skeptical. What did these aliens want in return? What was the catch? We ask only for your cooperation, the Xylarian said, as if sensing my doubts. We wish to learn from you, to understand your culture, your history. We believe that together, we can achieve great things. His words were tempting, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this offer than met the eye. We will need time to consider your proposal, I said, stepping forward, my voice firm. We are a proud people, and we do not make decisions lightly. The Xylarian nodded, his crest pulsing with understanding. We understand. Take all the time you need. We will be waiting. With that, the Xylarians returned to their ship, the ramp retracting behind them. The vessel rose silently into the sky, leaving us to grapple with the implications of their visit. We had been offered a chance to change our destiny, to escape the shackles of our harsh existence. But at what cost? Was it a gift, or a Trojan horse? Only time would tell. The days following the Xylarians' departure were filled with heated debates and sleepless nights. Some saw the aliens as saviors, eager to embrace their promises of a better future. Others, like myself, remained wary, suspicious of their motives. We convened a council of elders, the wisest and most experienced among us, to discuss the Xylarians' offer. After days of deliberation, we decided to accept their assistance, but with caution. We would allow them to help us terraform our planet, but we would closely monitor their actions, ensuring they didn't overstep their boundaries. The Xylarians returned, their ship descending from the sky like a benevolent deity. They brought with them an army of robotic drones, each equipped with advanced terraforming technology. They set to work, transforming our barren wasteland into a lush oasis. Rivers flowed where once there was only sand. Trees sprouted from the ground, their leaves a vibrant green against the blue sky. Crops flourished, providing us with a bounty of food we had never dreamed possible. For the first time in generations, we experienced abundance. We no longer had to struggle for survival. We had time for leisure, for art, for knowledge. We built schools, libraries, theaters. Our society flourished. But amidst this newfound prosperity, a dark secret lurked. The Xylarians, it turned out, were not the benevolent saviors they had presented themselves to be. They had an ulterior motive, a sinister agenda that threatened to destroy everything we had built. I discovered their secret by chance, while exploring one of their abandoned research facilities. Hidden within a secure chamber, I found a series of holographic recordings that revealed the Xylarians' true intentions. They were not here to help us. They were here to exploit us. The terraforming technology they had introduced to our planet was not designed to benefit us. It was designed to alter our physiology, to make us more compatible with their own biology. They planned to harvest our genetic material, to use it to create a hybrid race that would serve as their slaves. The realization hit me like a thunderbolt. We had been betrayed, used, manipulated. I raced back to our settlement, my mind racing with a million thoughts. How could we stop them? How could we protect ourselves from these monsters disguised as angels? I gathered the elders, the leaders of our community, and revealed the Xylarians' sinister plot. The news was met with shock, disbelief, and anger. We had to act, and we had to act fast. But how could we, a primitive society, fight against a technologically advanced alien race? An idea began to form in my mind, a desperate plan that might just give us a fighting chance. We would use their own technology against them. We would turn their terraforming machines into weapons, unleashing the full fury of nature upon them. We would flood their cities, bury their facilities, and drive them from our planet. It was a risky plan, a gamble with our very survival. But we had no other choice. We had to fight for our freedom, for our future. We had to show the Xylarians that we were not just survivors, we were warriors. The fight for our freedom was brutal and bloody. We sabotaged the Xylarians' terraforming machines, turning their technological marvels into instruments of chaos. We unleashed floods that swept through their cities, earthquakes that shook their foundations, and sandstorms that buried their facilities beneath mountains of sand. The Xylarians, caught off guard by our rebellion, fought back with their advanced weaponry. Their laser cannons blazed, their energy shields crackled, but they were no match for the raw fury of nature unleashed. We fought with the desperation of cornered animals, utilizing guerrilla tactics and exploiting the terrain to our advantage. We ambushed their patrols, sabotaged their equipment, and struck fear into their hearts. The Xylarians, used to dealing with compliant subjects, were unprepared for our ferocity. They underestimated our resilience, our determination to protect our home. As the war raged, we suffered heavy losses. Many of our bravest warriors fell in battle, their lives sacrificed for the greater good. But their deaths were not in vain. They fueled our anger, our thirst for vengeance. In the end, it was the Xylarians' own arrogance that led to their downfall. They believed themselves to be superior, invincible. They underestimated our resourcefulness, our ability to adapt and overcome. We lured them into a trap, a seemingly abandoned settlement that we had rigged with explosives. As they entered, unsuspecting, we detonated the charges, burying them beneath tons of sand and debris. The explosion was deafening, the shockwave felt for miles around. When the dust settled, the Xylarian forces were decimated. Their leader, the once proud and arrogant Xylarian commander, lay dying in the rubble, his crest flickering with a fading light. You cannot win," he gasped, his voice barely a whisper. "We will return, we will conquer." His words were cut short as his light finally extinguished, leaving behind only a lifeless husk. We had won. Against all odds, we had defeated a technologically superior foe. We had reclaimed our planet, our freedom. But our victory was bittersweet. We had paid a heavy price for our liberation. Many of our loved ones were gone, their laughter and smiles forever silenced. Yet from the ashes of destruction, a new hope arose. We rebuilt our settlement, stronger and more resilient than before. We learned from the Xylarians' technology, adapting it to our own needs. We forged a new society, one based on unity, cooperation, and respect for the planet. We emerged from the war not just as survivors, but as victors. We had proven to ourselves, and to the universe, that we were a force to be reckoned with. The Xylarians' invasion had been a catalyst for change, a trial by fire that forged us into a stronger, more determined people. We had faced our darkest fears, and emerged from the crucible of war with a renewed sense of purpose. We knew that the universe was vast, filled with both wonders and dangers. But we also knew that we were not alone. There were others out there, both benevolent and malevolent. We would continue to explore, to learn, to grow. But we would never again be naive. We would never again underestimate the power of unity, the strength of the human spirit. For we are not just survivors. We are warriors, guardians of our planet, protectors of our future. And we will never surrender, never back down. We are the children of the sand, and we will rise. In the wake of our hard-fought victory, a wave of relief and jubilation swept through our settlement. Yet, beneath the celebration, a lingering unease took root. We had won a battle, but had we truly won the war? The Xylarians' technology had left an indelible mark on our world. Though we had disabled their terraforming machines, their influence was still evident in the lush greenery, the abundant water sources, and the altered landscape. We now lived in a world that was both familiar and foreign, a hybrid of a harsh desert past and a verdant, engineered future. As we rebuilt our society, we grappled with the legacy of the Xylarians' technology. We studied their salvaged equipment, deciphering their complex language and unraveling the secrets of their advanced science. We learned about their culture, their history, and their insatiable thirst for conquest. But most importantly, we learned from their mistakes. We recognized the dangers of unchecked ambition, of technological advancement without ethical considerations. We vowed to use our newfound knowledge wisely, to build a society that valued harmony with nature, not domination over it. Yet, as we delved deeper into the Xylarians' technology, a startling discovery shook us to our core. We found evidence of a vast network of Xylarian outposts scattered throughout the galaxy, each one a potential threat to our newfound peace. The realization was chilling. We were not alone in the universe, and our victory over the Xylarians might have only been a temporary setback for their empire. We knew that sooner or later, they would return, seeking revenge for their defeat and the loss of their precious resources. The question was, Would we be ready for them? We redoubled our efforts to understand and adapt the Xylarians' technology, not just for our own benefit, but for our defense. We developed new weapons, built defensive fortifications, and trained a new generation of warriors, ready to defend our home from any threat. But we knew that we couldn't rely solely on military might. We needed to build alliances, to forge relationships with other sentient beings in the galaxy. We sent out emissaries, traveling on repurposed Xylarian ships, seeking out other civilizations, both friendly and hostile. We shared our story, our struggle for survival, our victory against the Xylarians. We warned them of the Xylarian threat, urging them to unite against a common enemy. Some listened, heeding our warnings and joining our cause. Others dismissed us as paranoid, naive, or simply irrelevant. But we persevered, knowing that our survival, and the survival of countless other worlds, depended on it. As we ventured further into the cosmos, we encountered a diverse array of alien races, each with their own unique cultures, technologies, and agendas. We formed alliances with some, fought skirmishes with others, and learned valuable lessons from all. We discovered that the universe was a complex and dangerous place, filled with both wonder and terror. But we also found hope, in the form of other civilizations that shared our values of peace, cooperation, and mutual respect. Together, we formed a coalition of the willing, a united front against the Xylarian threat. We knew that the battle ahead would be long and arduous, but we were determined to prevail. For we were not just survivors, not just warriors. We were the vanguard of a new era, the torchbearers of a brighter future. We were the children of the sand, and we would not be conquered. Years turned into decades, and our desert planet, once a desolate wasteland, thrived. The air was clean, the water pure, and the land fertile. Our cities, built with a harmonious blend of Xylarian technology and our own ingenuity, rose from the sands like shimmering mirages. But peace was an illusion, a fragile bubble waiting to burst. Reports filtered in from our far-flung scouts. The Xylarians were amassing a vast armada, a force unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. They were coming back, their thirst for vengeance burning hotter than the desert sun. This time, we were ready. Our warriors, trained in the arts of both ancient and futuristic warfare, stood ready to defend our home. Our scientists had developed new weapons, harnessing the power of the elements themselves. And our diplomats had forged alliances with neighboring star systems, creating a united front against the Xylarian menace. The day the Xylarian armada emerged from hyperspace, a shadow blotting out the stars, was a day etched into our collective memory. We met them in orbit, our ships a swarm of defiant gnats against their monstrous leviathans. The battle was fierce, a symphony of destruction that echoed across the void. Laser beams sliced through the vacuum, missiles arced and exploded, and ships clashed in a deadly ballet of metal and fire. Despite our preparations, we were outmatched. The Xylarians' sheer numbers and firepower were overwhelming. Our ships fell like flies, their valiant crews sacrificing themselves to buy us time. But we had one last, desperate card to play. A weapon so powerful, so destructive, that it could turn the tide of the battle, but at a terrible cost. It was a Xylarian doomsday device, a weapon of mass destruction they had hidden on our planet, a failsafe in case their terraforming project went awry. We had discovered it during our initial exploration of their technology, and had kept it hidden, a secret weapon for a desperate hour. Now that hour had come. I stood in the command center of our flagship, my heart pounding in my chest. I knew the risks, the potential consequences of unleashing this weapon. But I also knew that our survival, the survival of our entire civilization, hung in the balance. With a trembling hand, I gave the order. Activate the Xylarian weapon.